I had been meditating every afternoon for the last year and a half. On this lovely spring day, upon completing my meditation, I arose with the calmness and peace associated with a lengthy meditative state. I went downstairs to my living room and I noticed as I looked out the window that I was one with the blades of grass and the rocks in the road. I was enveloped in a love I could not put into words. This divine love was in everything and in me. At the core of my being, I was this love and so was everyone else. In this state of grace, there was no right or wrong, no good or bad, and no judgment whatsoever. Fear was non-existent. There was no death and I knew that we all live forever. Everyone I met was love. It did not matter what they looked like. I was them and they were me. We are all connected. The utter joy is indescribable. I knew we did not end at our fingertips. The peace and bliss are beyond words. I became aware that a presence other than what I usually think of as myself was looking through my eyes. I had become one with this infinite awareness that simply sees without judgment. It is the very essence of life, eternal life. I wanted nothing, nor did I needed anything. It was peace that passeth understanding. My family and friends kept asking me about this deep calmness they observed in me. I could not translate this verbally to them at the time. It just flowed through me and out to all. I began to realize that in response to questions asked, the answers came from some deep place within that new truth. I was at a ball game in North Carolina and my son was pitching for his college team. It was a particularly important championship game for him and normally I would have been wringing my hands with every pitch and jumping up and down with each strikeout. This day, I found myself sitting and watching the game in a state of bliss, just indescribable. My son's girlfriend came up to me and asked if I was all right. I said, "Why of course, I'm fine." She said, "You seem so calm. Mike has the bases loaded and you're not nervous." I replied, "Honey, winning and losing do not matter." Upon seeing her reaction, I fully realized she did not understand. How could she? I realized that I needed to just live it and not try to explain what I was experiencing. How could I explain that nothing was needed, for all was given? I recall seeing a man who was drunk and disheveled, sitting on a curb. As I approached him, I saw his true being. He was unconditional love. I felt no judgment. He was as worthy as everyone else and he was loved as much as everyone else. I understood I was seeing beyond appearances. I also understood that this is our natural state. This is how we are meant to live. It did not matter what I did or had. There was joy in every act, every chore, every occasion. Love and joy pervaded everything. The energy of the universe is love and it flows through us all. We are all a part of this love and we are all one with God. For 2 glorious weeks, I went to sleep with a smile on my face and awoke smiling in utter joy. On the 14th day, I was having a conversation with my mother and she too had noticed a change in my voice and attitude. She always would ask me what caused such a profound change and I guess on this day I felt I should tell her. When I attempt to tell her, I believe I tried to personalize it. The feeling dissipated as suddenly as it had appeared. I learned one cannot take credit for God. I couldn't believe it and didn't know what to do. I was now in ordinary reality or the relative world, as I've come to call it. But now I had knowledge of the greater truth/God. How do I live like this? I asked. It was most difficult to listen to the world news, to see how we are to each other. This realization from the experience has changed me forever. I would not turn my back on this. I became involved in helping the homeless and the hungry. I have love in my heart for everyone regardless of what they look like or how they behave. It is so necessary for me to be with others who have touched this depth of love. It is my hope that as more and more of us grow in truth and numbers we will one day, indeed, have heaven on earth. Then we will be living as all the masters have taught, loving our neighbors as ourselves.